This Christmas feels different. You go to buy a gift, and the price hits harder than you expected. You grab a decoration, and it costs more than last year. Even a simple holiday dinner feels expensive. What's going on? Today, we dig into the real money story behind why Christmas is so expensive this year and what that means for 2026. Here's the tough truth. It's not just the cost of gifts or decorations that's gone up. It's your money, the value of it, that has quietly shrunk. Consumer prices increased 2.7% year over year as of November 2025, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But that number doesn't tell the whole story. Over the past several years, inflation pushed up costs across the board. Meanwhile, wage growth struggled to match pace. What that means, the money you earn today buys less than it did just a few years ago. So, even if this year's holiday sale prices aren't dramatically higher than last year, you still enter the season with weaker purchasing power. Your paycheck may look bigger, but in real terms, it feels smaller. That's the silent squeeze sowing the seed for holiday despair. Every December, retailers do what's known as a holiday markup. Prices go up, sometimes quietly, sometimes overtly, because demand spikes. But this year, the markup stayed stuck. Why? Because the baseline costs never came down. Retailers still face high costs for shipping, storage, labor, raw materials, and loans. Supply chains never fully recovered from pandemic disruptions. Global shipping costs spiked again in late 2024 due to port congestion and labor shortages. So instead of rolling prices back after inflation cooled, many passed those elevated costs on to you. But here's where it gets interesting. Major retailers posted record profits in 2024. According to financial reports, companies expanded their profit margins even while claiming rising costs. What feels like Christmas price hike is really just the cost of living crisis in disguise, with companies protecting their profits at your expense. Economists call this phenomenon price stickiness. Here's how it works. Holiday demand surges. Stores raise prices. People still buy because it's Christmas. Prices don't go down. They become the new normal. 3 years of price spikes, persistent demand, and rising baseline costs. That creates a loop where holiday prices no longer drop. They just become part of everyday prices. Companies learned during the pandemic that they could charge more without losing customers, and they kept doing it, even after their costs stabilized. Which means this Christmas isn't a spike, it's the new baseline. Here's another twist. More people are buying less. Recent surveys show many shoppers are cutting back. Fewer gifts, smaller meals, simpler decorations, fewer trips. Yet the total amount spent remains nearly the same, because prices remain high. What that means? You might spend the same $200 as last year, but that $200 buys far fewer gifts, fewer treats, fewer memories, and the debt keeps piling up. The Federal Reserve reported that total household debt hit $17.9 trillion in the third quarter of 2025. Credit card balances alone exceeded $1.17 trillion, the highest ever recorded. Translation? People are buying Christmas gifts with money they don't have. It's not inflation alone that's hurting you. It's price stickiness plus high cost of living plus emotional pressure. And that brings us to the hidden cost nobody talks about. The hardest part about a pricey Christmas? It's the pressure to keep up. Holiday season isn't just about commerce, it's about expectation, it's about guilt, it's about memories. Parents feel they must provide. Friends feel they must gift. Social media makes comparison unavoidable. And brands push emotionally driven marketing harder than ever. Marketing teams have weaponized family expectations, social pressure, and childhood nostalgia into a profit engine. When you combine high costs with emotional expectations, you get what looks like generosity, but feels like stress. That blend of economic pressure and emotional demand turns holiday joy into financial burden. You're not failing at budgeting. You're up against trillion-dollar behavioral science designed to make you spend. If trends continue, price stickiness, stagnant wages, global economic instability, 2026 may hit even harder. Here's what to expect. Basic costs, food, rent, utilities, will likely continue rising while real incomes stay flat or decline in purchasing power. Economists surveyed in late 2024 expect inflation to remain elevated through 2026, even if it moderates slightly. Holiday markups may become standard pricing, even outside festive seasons. Consumers will shift from spend to impress to spend to survive. More people will prioritize essentials, fewer gifts, fewer luxuries, simpler celebrations. With credit card debt at all-time highs, some analysts warn of a potential consumer spending crash. If enough households hit their credit limits, holiday spending could plummet, forcing retailers to finally cut prices. But that comes with job losses and economic pain, or new disruptions. Climate-related shocks, geopolitical instability could send prices even higher. In short, 2026 may not be a year of recovery. It might be the year people finally stop pretending they can afford the same holiday lifestyle. Those who adapt, budget smart, spend intentionally, focus on meaning over luxury, will survive. Christmas is expensive this year, not because the season changed, but because the world did. Your money buys less, costs stayed high, expectations stayed high too. But now you know the real reason. You're not powerless. You can choose how you spend. You can value simplicity over show. You can protect your peace. Because at the end of the day, the best gift this holiday season might not come wrapped in paper. It might come in wisdom. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more breakdowns like this. We dig into money, society, and real issues. See you next video.